Hello and welcome to the Black Rose Garden. I want to share with you my Atlas tree and strategy for focused on Blight. I'm pretty happy with this tree that I made. It's quite tight and packs in a lot of things. I want to first preface by saying that you will need to use the TFT Forbidden Trove Discord in order to bulk sell mainly yellow beasts and heist contracts and heist blueprints. If you don't want to interact with that Discord for whatever reason, you would have to take out the bestiary and heist nodes and put other stuff. So first, before I even discuss the details of this Atlas tree, I want to talk about the advantages of using my tree and farming strategy. First of all, this strategy requires a very, very low gear requirement, so you can have a really weak build. Like basically, if you can clear a tier 16 map, you can run the strategy like optimally. Most strategies require you to use 8 mod corrupted maps to do them optimally, but since Blight doesn't scale off of like map quantity or even player quantity, you don't need magic find on your gear or 8 mod corrupted maps. That then leads us to the second advantage, which is that this is a very low investment strategy. You don't need to invest into buying 8 mod corrupted maps, so you'll get to use all the maps that you drop, and you can pretty easily sustain it if you use this strategy in combination with running Blight Ravished maps. Another reason why you can use a weaker build is because we're taking both the Ironheart node and the Huck node. So these two both give you an ally that give you offensive and defensive buffs. That makes your character quite a bit stronger. Okay, now let me just give you an overview of what we have on this tree. Obviously, we take almost all of the Blight nodes. The remainder of the nodes on this tree, other than Blight, are basically just secondary income. They add profit to your maps without adding additional time, so you can be focused on Blight, since that's what we're spending our Scarabs on and most of the points on this tree. So we have Eldritch Altars. Obviously, you can run either Searing Exarch or Eater of Worlds. It doesn't matter too much. And then we have Bestiary and Heist. Bestiary basically just adds a few more rare mobs that are pretty easy to kill, pretty fast to kill. And then Heist just adds chests that you just click on, and that's all you do for them in a map. And then with the remainder of our points, we're investing a little bit into Necropolis, Scarabs, and map sustain. Again, in Necropolis and Scarabs don't increase the time it takes to clear a map. Like, you can put literally any other mechanic you want on the map, but if it's doubling the time you take to clear every map, then you're basically getting half the value out of all of your Blight Scarabs and out of all of your Blight nodes. So you don't really want to be doing that. Okay, now let me explain a few of the specific nodes. So for Blight, you take all of the nodes except for this notable, because you really don't need it since you're guaranteeing Blight on every map. You also don't need these two small nodes, because you'll always have more than enough points to craft, like max out your towers. And then there's also this cluster here, which basically just makes your Blight encounter a lot easier. And you can take it if you want. You can remove these Necropolis nodes and take these if your build is really, really weak. But I just don't need to. And then for Bestiary, this is actually a very unique way of farming Bestiary, where we're mainly farming for yellow beasts. There are two main advantages of farming for yellow beasts instead of red beasts. And I'm kind of surprised that I haven't seen anyone else really doing this. The first is that it takes a lot more points. Most of the notables on the tree are focused around red beasts, so you just don't need to take any of them at all. All we take is this cluster, these points. These small notables are actually really important. That gives you an additional yellow beast, and then a few more to increase the chance of spawning Ironheart to 100%, and that's it. So you don't need anything from this cluster. It's a lot less points. And the second advantage is that it's a lot more consistent, because every single yellow beast that you get, you can sell in bulk on TFT, as opposed to red beasts, where the majority of the red beasts you get are going to be worthless and you can't even sell them at all. A very few of them are worth a lot of money. And then for Heist, you obviously take these two clusters to increase your chance of getting Smuggler's Cash. You take these because Deception is the only contract that's really worth money. And then you take this cluster here because it increases your blueprints, and blueprints are worth a lot of money. You don't need to take these at all, because not a lot of people are looking to buy like precious or high value target contracts. Let's see, what else should I talk about? Oh, for Necropolis, taking this notable, you can consider not taking it, but I found it to be a very good quality of life where you don't have to look at the lantern every map. So that saves me a lot of brain power and time, which I really like. Of course, the downside is if you get like a divine orb devotion, you can't use all flames to turn into like rats or frogs or whatever. But that's extremely rare. I've never gotten divine orbs from Necropolis. For map sustain, you only take this small cluster and then this point here along singular focus. This is not a lot of points invested into map sustain, and you might think that it's not enough to sustain your maps. But if you run Blight Ravage maps, surprisingly, Blight Ravage maps obey singular focus, so you'll actually drop a lot of your favorite maps from Blight Ravage, which lets you easily sustain your map. And our map of choice is, of course, Toxic Sewer, because it's a very tight layout, which is really good for Blight, but it's also a pretty small map and it's easy to full clear, which is pretty good for all of the secondary forms of income. Like, you'll very often have like a lot of yellow beasts in a single room in Toxic Sewers. For the Scarabs, we're just taking the best Blight Scarabs, which are Blooming, Bounty, and Oils. These Scarabs are really cheap. Blooming is about 9 to 10 chaos. Bounty is like 1 chaos each, and Oil is less than a chaos, so it's like 10, 11, 12, 13. It's like 13, plus you're sustaining your map for free, and you don't need expensive maps. And the last thing is I run Heist. This synergizes really well with your Heist nodes on your Atlas tree, because this is actually the only way to guarantee Smuggler's caches in your map. And so to end off this video, I'll just showcase me running one of these maps. My build is only like about 10 divines. Oh, actually, I forgot I bought Ori Ascend on stream today. So without the Ori Ascend, it's about 10 divines, and I was running the strategy like very easily and comfortably. You definitely don't need Ori Ascend. So the layout of Toxic Sewers is always like, you'll spawn in a corner, and there's 4 loop-de-loops. Oh, it's been a while since I got a Forbidden Tome.
Until we slaughter you.
That's a blueprint. This is the boss. It's also a very easy boss too, compared to some other maps.
The first ones look upon this capture with pride, exile. You hunt well.
When I'm ready, and
So that was one of the loop-de-loop corners.
You plan to last longer than 2 rounds.
This up here should be another one. Oh, I guess it's just a corner. Oh, this is a loop. And here's Cassia. I guess a quick guide on towers. There's a lot of fire means, so I'm not even going to build fire towers, even though I normally wouldn't. So I'm literally just going to build all ice. Like, you only get 3 slots, and you'll get a lot of points really soon. So you'll be able to max out these, especially since we only go to tier 3. Oh, there's more here. You can do like empowering. More ice. Again, normally I would do some fire, but these are all fire immune, so. Then I hope you've seen my video talking about the helmet that just opens chests when you press a war cry. Pretty useful for Blight. Well, the most useful for Blight. But also useful for like expedition. Honestly, if I could build fire towers, a lot of times you can kind of like AFK and let the fire towers kill the mobs, except for bosses. But I can't show you that here, unfortunately, since they're all fire immune. And we're almost done. And the helmet with all of these. Yep. You're gonna get a lot of Blight Ravage maps. And your chests are going to be reopenable like a lot of times sometimes. Then here you want to pick up all of the anointed jewelry because you can extract. Well, I actually ran out of space. Fine. We're not even done cleaning the map yet. We'll leave the jewelry there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, I got these? Okay, that's just like pure luck. That's cool. And we dropped the map too. So if you have a Wiccan PoE trade, you can really easily see what oils are on it. You can also change your loot filter to only show you the good ones. Wow, that's kind of unlucky. I have one that we can extract, and we failed to get the silver. Minion gives Chaos Orb, it's a pretty common one. And I think that's most of the map. You don't have to clear the entire map. That's it. Thank you for watching.